Hey everybody, welcome to the ET Whisper YouTube channel. Hey everybody, Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisper. Welcome to the ET Whisper YouTube channel. I wanted to say two things real quick today after you watch this amazing channeling we put out. I just want to let you guys know what's going on in the life of the ET Whisper and in our work. This year, as you might have heard on our webinar, it's kind of up in the air on what we've got going on because of custody, because of my son. If you haven't watched it, watch the beginning of the webinar for March, so you can watch that and find the whole story. But for right now, what we do know is that there are two things. One is a special shout out. I want a special shout out to our dear friend Psychic Bob. Bob Hickman is one of the awesome psychic intuitives and also channelers that we know. He is a great human being, one of the kindest, most loving human beings, a dear friend of Kalina and mine. This year he was invited to our channel panel. Well, last year, 2016, he was a big part. He channeled Rose, which is amazing consciousness. But check out Psychic Bob. If you don't know about him, you definitely should check out Psychic Bob. And you can go to roberthickman.com and check out all of his work there. We're shooting outside. It's the spring of Michigan. It looks good, feels good outside now. Today we have 70s with some clouds going on and off, so we thought we would bring this recording to a beautiful outdoors arena today for that. Bob always does that. He lives in Virginia. It's a lot nicer there, a lot longer of the year. So check out Bob Hickman. Love that guy. Love you, Bob. Thank you for all your love and support for our work. Secondly, projects that are going on for the ET Whisper. There are two main projects in this moment. The first one is a project no more. It is a done, complete thing. This is a book, Being with the Beings from Miguel Mendoza, which is a book featuring myself and dear friend of the ET Whisper and me and Kalina, Vashta Narada. You know her work when you see the artwork of Treb and Aridif that say Vashta on it. She's done several renditions throughout the years. She is one of the most amazing ET artists out there. She is also being featured in this book along with me and Aridif. Mine and Aridif's chapter is one of the longest chapters in the book. Aridif himself has over 22 pages of just his channeling, and I explain my own connection to Aridif. Groundbreaking material. Being with the Beings is about long-term extraterrestrial contact, what it means for the world, disclosure, and all of those important things to us. So check that out. Second project that we have going on, we're getting Tuning In Now rared back up again. Now, those of you who followed us, you know that we have tried this project before, but this time we have a very special person, Kevin Moore, involved. He is one of the most on-the-ground intuits, people who are also in the know when it comes to channelers. He has interviewed hundreds of different people who are channelers, intuitive, psychics. He puts amazing shows together. Look for the Kevin Moore Show. I did an interview on his show just a couple months ago. That was amazing. If you enjoy what we do here, check out Kevin Moore's show. He's helping now produce the new Tuning In Now. This Tuning In Now will have Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, Jeffrey Hoppy, who channels Adamus, and the famous Lee Carroll, who channels Cryon, as well as myself and Aridif, and a person from the 2016 online channel panel, Courtney Amandinson. And she is an amazing channeler, very young, in fact, the youngest professional channeler in the world. She is one of the greats who was in the channel panel with us, so check her out. Check this thing out. Go to tuninginnow.com. You can check out how you can donate, how you can help, how you can share, and every donation will receive something back. If you donate a smaller amount, then you'll get the DVD or the digital download after the movie's made. If you donate larger amounts, you could actually sit on set when this movie's being recorded. This is going to be a breakthrough documentary. It's already being shared around, already tons of people talking about it, and all of your favorites from the first movie, Tuning In Now, Spirit Channels of America, will be there, as well as myself. So it is a must-see, a must-check out. We're also going to put a part of that on the end of some of our videos this year. This is Kevin Moore talking about what this film's going to be about, who's going to be in it, what it's going to look like, and how you can help make it come to fruition. We love you guys so much, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Rob Gauthier, Kalina Angell from ET Whisper. We're out. Greetings to you all. This is Aridif, that is A-R-I-D-I-F, and this is its spell. Before diving into the ideas that we wish to express this day, there are two things that we wish to express. The very first is a greetings to you, Kalina.
Greetings, Narada. Thank you for being with us today.
Yes, it is a great pleasure, both of our own co-creation and also for our own excitement. Secondly, we wish to express the idea of the entity being brought forward in this day. Rob has expressed to all of you that he wishes to continue that same pattern of bringing forward entities that have connected to mankind and have been a part of your earth experience and history. In this consciousness, we are bringing forward an entity that is much different than any other type brought forward before. We have only brought forward extraterrestrial energies, to your perspective, or extra-dimensional energies, entities that have co-created with you upon DNA levels or upon direct interaction and teaching levels. Now, the same can be said about this entity that we are bringing forward, but we first must express to you what it is that we are bringing forward in this day. This entity is not an entity that is defined by the exact way we would define an entity. Before, when you were to ask us to define what an entity is, we would express that it is the lower fractalized consciousness and the higher fractalized consciousness of one specific manifestation of an oversoul. For instance, Rob is an entity, both in his lower fractal consciousness and higher fractal consciousness. I myself am an entity. My lower fractal consciousness and higher fractalized consciousness together is the entity that you would know as Aridif, and also the entity that you would know as Rob. Two different entities are identified in order to show the definition. We will bring you forward not an entity in that same definition, but an entity due to the fact that there is little else to call this consciousness. Some of you might call this collective consciousness of first density entities collectively. Some of you might be more specific and call this entity the localized manifestation of a collective consciousness for the first density being that you call elements. When you see elements, when all of those entities and energies are co-creating with you, you define them and perceive them as energies that do not live. You see the energy of air that is surrounding you. You see it as an inanimate, flowing object that is part of the consciousness of the Earth Collective, and that is correct in one way, but it also carries its own defined energy, its own defined essence, and its own defined consciousness. You look into the water and see multiple living organisms that reside within the water, but the water itself, you see hydrogen and oxygen mixing in order to create liquefied water. That is a correct assumption, but it is also first density being with consciousness of its own. Now, what happens when multiple first density beings co-create together? They can manifest what you would call the collective consciousness, or what others might call an elemental being. This elemental consciousness is something that is created from the bounds of all of those first density beings co-creating with one another, manifesting not only a collective energy but a persona included. And as we speak, the wind or air, collective consciousness or localized collective consciousness is speaking about us. You see, with Rob's hair flowing inside of that wind, you hear the whistling and whooshing upon the microphone, see the camera perhaps shaking slightly as the air consciousness has joined us. Now in this moment we are connected to multiple of those energies, but we bring forward the air localized collective consciousness. One moment we will connect. Has there ever been a time more beautiful than this moment? the energy that flows around you, the energy that flows through you, the energy that collects in and out of your body, fueling the most essential mechanisms of breath, the air, oxygen, the wind. Many of you call it many different things, but it is the same. The wind is a flowing energy, just as all of you. It is a flowing energy that is more like a liquid than most of your liquids act. It flows in and out of your personal experience and in and out of all of the things around. We want to share with you a bit better of a perception than what Aridif could share with you. We want to tell you that air is not just a bunch of molecules creating and manifesting our personality. It's not just our own perspective being shared here. Our energy is flowing in different thought, different momentum, different manifestations in every moment, because we as a collective change. Right now, there are trillions of wind molecules creating this collective consciousness. Hundreds of thousands per split second leave the collective. Hundreds of thousands enter each split second. By the time we are done speaking, there will be larger numbers than humanity has to count or is given name to that have been in and out of this collective. We are flowing and changing just like the wind around you does. The flowing of energy is something that we wanted to share from a deeper perspective. There have been many things going on your earth that's caused our energy to shift. We don't just come into your reality by ourselves. We come into your reality with your help. We come into your reality with the help of the animals, with the help of all the beings who surround each of you. In this city alone, there are tens of thousands of consciousnesses that are human-related, and into the surrounding areas even more. But how many blades of grass are there? How many trees are there? How many fish in the river? How many birds in the air? All of those play a part in who and what we are also. Mankind knows that it has not treated the environment well. It knows that it hasn't taken care of the mother as the mother is taking care of you. Many men, many women, many humans take much more from the earth than they give. This causes imbalance. 30,000 years ago, there were magnificent storms. There were releasing of the wind energy, like hurricanes, tornadoes, blasting winds, causing great damage. But in those times, much less intense and much less frequent. Why does this matter? Why has it changed with such a short time? All of you say this is not a short time, but we assure you from the stance of time we've been here, it is a very, very short time, a split second in the bigger picture. The reason that we have changed is because the earth has changed. Humans come into the existence learning how to be with themselves, then unlearning how to be with themselves. How can that affect a moving, fluid, sweeping energy such as ours? The earth knows that you have imbalance. The earth feels and takes on that imbalance. And when it does, we as a collective manifestation follow suit. We have to match the earth's energy because we are a child to the earth. We are a dear part of that earth. We are so deeply connected to the earth that when it becomes imbalanced, we have to come in balance. And we have to rebalance that imbalance. How does this happen? The wind blowing as today is a short, small reminder of the ever-flowing change, ebbing, of consciousness, the waning and waxing, frustrations within mankind, of resistances and imbalances in mankind. Many of you who hear our words are trying your hardest to find balance in your life. The entities and animals around you, the birds above you, the worms below you, all of them play their part. They become a part of your reality in balance and imbalance also. The attacking of humans by animals is not just the fact that most man have invaded their homes, but it's also a fact that they feel the elemental consciousness better than most humans ever can. When they feel that, they see where the imbalance comes from. They feel the imbalance from humans. And they manifest their own second density way to survive. Attack the human before we are attacked because we feel the imbalance of mankind. That happens, so the animals are blamed. And then many humans are blamed, which is something that we understand. But we want you to understand more deeply the mechanism. We don't blow heavily because your machines imbalance the air. Although it does, that's not the direct reason. We blow ever more violently trying to balance the imbalance. The reason is not the fuels and the fossil fuels and all of the littering that's done. That is a circumstance. That's a symptom. But the main cause is what lies within the heart of each human. Many humans believe they can't change Earth on their own. Nothing is further from the truth. The closest thing to the truth that is shared from our perspective, balancing your own heart, taking care of yourself, protecting your body and mind and heart from all the things around you that could imbalance that is important. Reminding yourself that if you're able to love, if you're able to come with a balance, that the world around you starts becoming more like the balance within you. The wind washes away the imbalance. Our dearest friends, water, wash away the imbalance. Fire washes away the imbalance. Electricity and earth wash away the imbalance. We continue to work as you work. And we want you to understand the most important thing. When we come to you today, we don't come to you to warn of the woes of the end of the earth. We don't come to you to threaten that if you don't change, we will wipe out mankind with ourselves. We don't think that way, and even if we did, we wouldn't have the power to do that because the power is in all of us collectively, not just us. The warning we give you is that the love in your heart is the tool that you can use for your self-balance. When you find a balance, you will find a stasis that lies within all of the Earth Collective. When you find balance in yourself, you won't need to litter. You won't need to pollute the air. You won't need to change what is on the earth in its beauty. You can become a part of the earth. So many of you have taken away so much of yourself from the earth. We would ask you to reconnect to it deeply. We would ask you to take your soul and place it in the earth for a moment. Feel what the earth feels. Know how to balance yourself to the earth. The only way to feel the depths of the earth's energy telling you how to make it more balanced is to know yourself deeply and truly. Feel us as we share. Feel us as we share our energy. Thank you.